Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am greeting you in my pajamas to introduce you to the lookbook that I'm going to be doing today. I wanted to do a concept where I did like a coordinate for every season. So spring, summer, fall, and winter. The catch is I'm going to be making coordinates specifically for like the shittiest weather of every season. For like the hottest summer, the coldest winter, etc. I'm going to be explaining how I adapt my Lolita wardrobe to such weather conditions, but just to give you a little bit of context, I live in Quebec, Canada. It is very cold in the winter. We go to like -30, -40 in the not American method of temperature telling. And in the summer, it's not like super duper hot. I mean, it's like high 20s and things, but it's very, very humid and muggy here. The weather really weighs on you, so it does get quite hot. For spring and fall, the thing is that the temperature varies quite a bit. For example, in fall you have August, September, October, and October can be quite cold, and August can be very, very hot still. So like I said, I'm going for like the shittiest weather of each season, hopefully to help maybe you, that's right, you watching this video right now, adapt to your shitty weather. Of course, listen, if you're like in Texas or somewhere super duper hot like that, I probably can't help you that much on that front, but I will do my best, and I'm going to be completely like realistic with these. I'm going to try and show you all the layering pieces and stuff like that. But for now, I will hush hush and I will get into the video. We're going to start with spring. Okay, so for spring here, basically it starts like in March, April, May. Spring can be really cold or really warm by the end of it, but I think spring here is characterized by a lot of rain. So there's a lot of rain, especially at the end of March, in April, May. Yeah, really there's a lot of rain, and it switches from crispy to warm within the same day quite often. So for spring, what I do is I carry around my big backpack. This is my daily backpack anyway. This is the backpack that I bring to work and stuff like that. And it fits my raincoat and a sweater. I'll usually wear like a short sleeve shirt, a regular coordinate like this, and then I'll bring a sweater and my raincoat, or I'll just wear a long sleeve sweater if it's a colder day and my raincoat in case it rains. I also have an umbrella, but it is super jacked up and it's not very cute, so I'm just not going to show it here. Obviously, I'm also wearing my rain boots. If they look gross to you, I did wash them for this video. I've had these for like 3 years now, so they're just kind of gross looking, but these are lifesavers. They're cute and pink, and I usually wear like a warm layer of socks in them as well, which I'm doing right now. Apart from that, it's pretty much a regular coordinate. Usually spring is warm enough that I don't have to wear tights under my dress, but if I do, I will wear, if it's really cold, like I said, I'll wear kind of thin-ish tights like this. They're not too thick, and they're just plain white. I wear them under my socks. The last thing I want to mention is this hat. I chose this headpiece specifically because it can cover my ears, and it does get a little bit cold, but not cold enough for like a full scarf and earmuffs toque situation, so this hat is pretty convenient for that. I just got it, of course. And yeah, I think that's about it for spring. It has sprung, so let's move on to the next season, which is summer. In summer, like I mentioned, it is very hot and humid. Okay, very hot might be an exaggeration. Please do not come for me, people who live in the southern hemisphere. But for someone like me who is used to cold ass temperatures, summer is a bummer every year. Most of what I wear in summer really is OPs because you don't have the weight of a blouse, and my OPs are mostly cotton, or my Mermaid Symphony OP, which is chiffon, has like these really light transparent sleeves. I thought that might be a little bit boring for the video though, so instead I chose the next best thing, which is this Aqua Princess GSK, because it doesn't have any sleeves at all. What I do in summer is I always layer it with this specific blouse because it is very thin and very light, so it really doesn't add any heat, but it does protect my shoulders, of course. To keep things light, of course, I'm just wearing ankle socks. And I know you might be thinking, why the hell is she wearing fishnets? That does not suit the cord. And I do agree, but the thing is, I don't really like completely showing my legs, mostly in Lolita. So I do wear fishnets a lot in the summer because a pair of tights would just be way too hot. So bear with me. Apart from that, I'm keeping my arms uncovered with just some wrist cuffs as accessories. I don't find these get too hot or anything like that. And I have my hair tied up and out of the way in a side ponytail, and then I'm contrasting the volume with this very small AP headband, which won't really add much weight or heat either. Apart from that, I carry my parasol with me. I'm not going to open it indoors because I'm a very superstitious person. And then I have this shell bag, which is from an indie brand. My wife bought it for me, and the reason I chose this bag specifically is because I do have an AP shell bag, but those tend to crack and flake in humid like environments. So during the summer, I try not to use it too much. I leave it in my closet, and I'll bring this beautiful bad boy out. And I really like this one with Aqua Princess. I feel like the colors match very well. The only thing I'll admit that might be a bit heavy is this choker. I might like swap it out for just a pearl necklace if it was super duper hot, because you don't want to add any like weight or anything that like constricts your neck in the heat. But sometimes you have to sacrifice one little element of practicality for beauty, so that's what it is. Next up, the weather is going to start getting a bit colder and we're going to move to fall. here is fall. So the thing about fall is that it's usually the best time to wear a Lolita, other than like late spring when it's less rainy, just because the weather tends to be a little bit crisp but still warm, so you can wear quite a bit of layers without being too hot. But there's also days where you can just go out with like a t-shirt and that kind of thing. For today's look though, I chose to show one of those days where you do need to layer up a little bit. And starting with the base, this is just a short sleeve, and a short sleeve is what I chose because I'm going to put a cardigan on top of it. But for my leg wear, I'm wearing these OTKs, but I'm also wearing some white tights underneath if it's one of those cooler days. Of course, if it's still like a warm day, I'm not going to wear those, or I might wear them in the morning and then take them off in the afternoon and stuff them in my bag. Speaking of said bag, this is what I'll usually carry around. This is my cotton candy feet bag, and I chose it because it is quite spacious. So I could put my tights in here, but what I have right now is this cardigan. So on a like cooler spring day, this cardigan would be totally fine. I can just immediately layer it over my cord knit and I'm good to go if it's a little bit colder, but still not really like cold, I would say. But on a fall day where it's like truly cold, like maybe in October or closer to the beginning of November, I do have a short coat, which isn't as warm as my big AP coat, the purple one that I'm going to show you for winter. So I could wear this as well. And this is the thing about fall, it's that season where sometimes you have to add layers, take out layers. It's cold in the morning, it's hot in the afternoon, so carrying a big bag around I find is essential, because that way you can like stuff a cardigan or something in it, and if you need, you can just carry your coat around in your hands. It's pretty common to see here. In fall, I find I have no problem just wearing like Lolita shoes outdoors. Sure, the weather might not always be ideal, especially as the ground starts to freeze and stuff, but it's usually not that bad. Another thing that I find can help keep you warm if needed is wigs or hair stuff. It just adds a layer to your head where you don't need to wear like a hat or earmuffs or something like that. In this case, I'm wearing Priscilla hair extensions, but a wig will keep you warmer, especially if you can put it on top of your ears and like tuck it behind your ears if you need. I think that's everything I have to say for fall, so let's move on to the last season, of course, is winter. Winter. So last but certainly not least in terms of layers is winter. Quebec, Canada, freaking cold. Probably not as cold as other places, but it is what it is. A few things, layers are like your best friend in the world. Right now I'm wearing a blouse with an OP over it, a cardigan, which I can remove when I'm inside, and a coat. I also have long sleeve undershirts that I keep for when it's super duper cold, and I'll wear those under my blouse as well. That's for like really extremely cold days. I don't usually need like 4 layers. This coat, I've tested it when it's about -20, -22, and it was very, very warm. So I imagine I'll be fine in the deep winter, though I haven't like tested that 100% yet. Next thing for layering is you're going to want to layer your leg wear. Now, right now you can see my OTKs, which are the AP ones, but more importantly, I have these fleece-lined, very thick, very warm tights. Inside of my boots, I also have multiple pairs of socks. What I normally do is put a like short ankle length pair of socks, and then I put my Lolita socks on top. And then the best thing in my experience, apart from like cotton camping socks, are socks for like room wear or pajamas. They're usually very, very thick and they keep heat quite well. So I would recommend finding a pair of those. Obviously, after that, I have true winter boots. Not Lolita shoes. You don't want anything with a heel. You don't want anything made of like super thin pleather that's going to flake and peel. If you live somewhere like Quebec, you are going to not only be dealing with snow, but slush, ice, rocks, salt, freezing rain, hail, snowstorms, windstorms, etc. So you want to really get a pair of winter boots. Mine are from UGG. They're very, very warm. They're true leather, and I would recommend a pair like these. After that, as you can tell, I'm only wearing one pair of gloves. Personally, for me, these angelic pretty gloves are super warm. They're lined with like a sort of velour fabric on the inside, but you can also wear gloves with bins on top if that doesn't work. Finally, for my head, well, I have these earmuffs that I got off Taobao when I first joined the fashion. They're super warm. And the reason that I specifically chose this headpiece is because it's flat. If I want to wear like a head bow or something like that, I will just remove it while I have my earmuffs on, and I'll put it on when I get indoors and I take my earmuffs off. One thing that's great about these earmuffs is they fold, so they're really easy to place in a bag or around the straps of bags or hanging out of a pocket as well. You'll notice that I don't really have a ton of accessories on, and typically I don't wear much hair accessories in winter because there's a ton of wind and they have a tendency to like get blown off unless they're very, very secure, like alligator clips, or they can get knocked off by my earmuffs, which has happened. I lost a BTSSB hair comb that way and it was very tragic, and I still haven't recovered to this day. That's it. I'm so hot, I'm sweaty. Thankfully, I'm not outside right now, so this is a little too warm. I'm going to go undress and then I will be right back. I would really love to hear from Lolitas who live in warmer climates, how you deal with the heat. I personally find that the peak of summer, when it's at its hottest, is when I wear Lolita the least. I have no issue wearing it in like the dead of winter, but dealing with the heat is really hard for me, especially as someone with sensitivities in regard to that. So any advice you have on staying cool, staying comfortable in Lolita in the summer, I think would be super awesome to hear in the comments. As per usual, let me know if you have a favorite cord or maybe something you would have done differently, how you adapt to your climate as well. And last thing, please bear with me as I try to figure out a new setup. I'm moving a bit of furniture in my room and rearranging things. I'm hoping to decorate this lovely little corner eventually. It's different from the other little corner I usually film in, but right now I'm on a bit of a no buy, so we'll see how that goes. If the lighting was weird, if the angles were weird, anything like that, I'm more than open to getting feedback in the comments, but I just hope you will bear with me while I figure out my new little setup. Thank you all so much for watching as usual. I will see you in my next video, and until then, have a great day and bye bye.